For more than 50 years, the United States Department of Defense has dedicated time, personnel, and resources to the sole mission of accounting for those Americans listed as prisoners of war or missing in action. We're going to be bringing them up here momentarily, but I want to continue. What began with the Central Identification Laboratory in Thailand, established to coordinate the recovery of American POWs and MIAs in Southeast Asia, morphed into a joint task force with detachments, laboratories, liaison offices, and other subordinate units, given the responsibility of accounting for those missing from all past wars and conflicts. Today, the Defense POW MIA Accounting Agency, established in 2015, carries on that mission around the world, devoted to the insurmountable task of accounting for more than 81,000 missing Americans. In the past year, DPAA accounted for 156 American service members lost in World War II, the Korean War, and the Vietnam War. This was a result of the tireless efforts and countless hours spent by the more than 700 Defense Department uniformed and civilian personnel that make up the world-class workforce of this organization. Through a partnership that has lasted for decades, the VFW is honored to work alongside this great agency in helping to fulfill our nation's promises to bring all of America's missing service members home. Please join me in welcoming to our 126th National Convention the man who has been a leader in the Department of Defense's POW MIA accounting efforts for more than a decade, Director of the DPAA, retired United States Air Force Reserve Major General Kelly McKeague.
You're not hard to find.
Thank you. Good to see you, Commander. Carol, nice to see you. Tim, good to see you. I am not as dynamic as Secretary Collins, so I'm going to tempt fate and stay at the edge of the precipice. Distinguished national leaders, esteemed veterans, it is always a privilege for me to be among you. As proud as I am of my 34 years in the United States Air Force and 10 years, thank you, and 10 years serving this sacred mission, I am more than proud of the fact that I am the son of an Army infantry soldier who at the age of 21 found himself at the Battle of Pusan in the Korean War. Twice a combat veteran in Vietnam, like many of you, God rest his soul, I am proud of my father's service. Ladies and gentlemen, the words you see on the screen, this is a sacred mission. It's a sacred mission because we are searching for, finding, recovering, identifying your comrades in arms. It's also a moral imperative because we have an obligation to their Gold Star families who deserve answers that they've sought for decades. I love these pictures because this, as you may not, well, he's got a hat on. This is your Junior Vice Commander, Tim Peters, at a recovery site helping our team look for the remains of a missing airman from the Vietnam War. Thank you, Tim. What you see there is the commitment that the VFW has had since 1991. Then Junior Vice Commander Whitmore visited Vietnam and our team last year. Before that, your commander-in-chief. Every single set of remains, even if it's only a single tooth, receives what you see there, a full military honors burial. Now, why does this matter? It matters because this is a mission that we still conduct. It's global in scope. We go where every American fell in battle from World War II. It's also generational because families miss their loved ones. You can see the numbers. The numbers are staggering. Our biggest enemies are those numbers and time. Now, I will tell you, there's a typo on the screen. The screen says 1,567 are missing from the Vietnam War. As of yesterday, that number is now 1,566. We were privileged to identify Master Sergeant Calfee, James Calfee, a 26-year-old from New Gulf, Texas. He found himself at Lima Site 85 in Laos. It was a secret radar site. 19 airmen were assigned there. They were overrun by superior force. 11 remained MIA. 1 Medal of Honor recipient, 2 Silver Stars out of that loss. To this day, it is the single largest ground combat loss in the Air Force, where 11 lost their lives that day. We have found 7 of them, Master Sergeant Calfee being the last one. We work in 46 countries. This very day, we have 267 people deployed in 11 countries, from Papua New Guinea, Vietnam, Germany, Poland, all over the world. 46 countries recognize and readily cooperate with the United States. Yesterday, a DPAA team came home from China, where they had spent the last 30 days in the northern part of China looking for 3 Korean War Air Force losses. Here at home, because of your support, your advocacy, this mission is not forgotten. This mission is not forgotten. It comes down simply, distinguished veterans, to the fact that these numbers, as staggering as they are, represent an individual with a unique story. I'd like to share with you one such story. 96 miles from here, northeast of here, Holmesville, Ohio, Lieutenant William Hott, 29-year-old. You can see how baby-faced he is, the enthusiasm on his face. He had just received his jump wings after this picture was taken, before shipping off to Korea. Lost in the Battle of Chosin. We identified him, and I'll tell you why and how we identified him. He was among the 55 boxes that the North Koreans turned over to the United States in 2018. Those 55 boxes represented 250 different individuals. Lieutenant Hott was the 100th individual to be identified from those boxes. Now, before that summit that President Trump had with Chairman Kim, your national commander, then Keith Harmon, wrote a very, very compelling letter to the president that said, Mr. President, when you meet with the North Korean leader, you need to ask him for the remains that they are holding. Lieutenant Hott was the 100th American to come home because of that letter from the Commander-in-Chief to the President. In 13 days, Lieutenant Hott will be buried next to his mother, 96 miles up the road. 12 days. his mother grieved for him until the day she died. And she told her children, his siblings, Billy will be coming home one day, I am sure of that. How prescient was Mrs. Hott. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you to the VFW. Thank you to the VFW for your advocacy. And this extends from the posts to the departments. Simple things like flying the POW MIA flag, like all of your posts and departments do. Attending the funeral of a missing American coming home. And for those from the Ohio Department, August 25th, Lieutenant Hott will be buried up the road. Thank you for sending in wartime artifacts. Your Vice Commander and I, 1 month ago, were with the Vietnamese in their embassy, turning over artifacts that you had turned in, ID cards, Viet Cong ID cards, letters, information. All of that is welcomed and appreciated by our foreign partners. I mentioned your national leaders visiting our deployed teams. They also visit our forensic laboratories to show the staunch support of the VFW. Where's the Ohio Department? We're allowed to accept donations. I'd like to recognize the Ohio Department, District 1, particularly Post 3345, for your generosity and the donations you send us, all of which go towards supporting those teams that deploy. If I could see the post commander, 3345, and the department commander, I would very much appreciate it to give you my personal thanks. And lastly, this is where it matters. Whether at the local level, in the community, in the state, in the halls of Congress, your voices are heard. Your staunch advocacy for your comrades in arms and why this mission matters continues to make a difference. I thank you for all of that. You know, all of this thanks can be, to me, embodied in a visit I had to Vietnam 1 month ago. With me on that visit was your former National Commander, Larry Rivers. This is the 50th year anniversary of the end of the Vietnam War. It's the 30th year of the resumption of diplomatic relations between our two countries. And in between those anniversaries is the 40th anniversary of the very first U.S. recovery team setting foot in Vietnam to look for a missing American. That was 40 years ago. And since then, the VFW's commitment has been incredible. Ladies and gentlemen, let me end with this. Whether it's Lieutenant Hott, whether it's Master Sergeant Calfee, every single one of these Americans that are now home is a result of this nation's commitment, emblematic of American values. That black and white flag that you see there, the eternal words on that flag are, "You are not forgotten." Ladies and gentlemen, I can assure you the Department of Defense has not forgotten. And I know by your words, by your actions, the VFW has not forgotten. May God bless our MIAs. May God bless their Gold Star families. May He bless each and every one of you, the VFW, and as always, our great nation.